Welcome to Keeping Up with Jones, the Lonnie Jones podcast adventure. You are going to hear the stories from the eclectic life of a guy who is a professional counselor, a family man, a SWAT team chaplain, outdoor enthusiast, a guy involved with ropes, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, a chaotic Jedi, and who is a recipient of an honorary doctorate from the University of Adversity. Using these stories, we take the facts lead to concepts, and from the concepts we make a variety of life applications. Just a caveat about the facts. Most of the time we will tell you the facts just the way it happened, but once in a while we'll give you the facts the way other people remember how it happened, and that usually includes a tablespoon of embellishment. No harm is meant, just good, clean fun for educational purposes. Please subscribe and share this with your friends or your enemies. It might help them to be better people if they listen. As always, we thank you for keeping up with Jones, the Lonnie Jones podcast adventure. Introducing the Bible degree with digital ministry. Paul used the marketplace and the synagogue to reach an expanded audience. We have access to the internet and social media. I once heard it said that when McDonald's introduced the drive-through window, they did not change the Big Mac, only how it was delivered. Faulkner University is now offering a new digital ministry track for their Bible degree. Faulkner's degree provides training in understanding and teaching the gospel, alongside training that will allow students to create quality digital content. Opportunities for evangelism in the digital spaces is unlimited, and this is innovative ministry education for our contemporary culture. One of the instructors is a 2-time Emmy-winning former ESPN designer. Members of the Church of Christ could be eligible for the full tuition Jack Zorn Scholarship in order to pursue this special area of study. For more information, contact admissions at faulkner.edu. That is admissions at faulkner.edu. Faulkner University is a digital partner with Keeping Up with Jones, the Lonnie Jones podcast adventure. I was in my black suit. It's the one I wear when they bury police officers. This police officer was a retired major. That's what they were called in the old days. Today, in today's time, he would have been called a deputy chief. And I was alone. Well, I wasn't really alone, but I was the only civilian back there. The casket was being guarded by 2 young men from an honor guard. Their Class A uniforms with a Sam Brown belt, their hats perfectly in place, and wearing white gloves. I was involved in this not just because I'm a chaplain, but also a friend of the family. The major's son had come to me because his family had thought he needed some guidance when he became obsessed with Hall's Pit. This was a pit on the family property, and he had wanted to go into the bottom of that pit and come out using ropes. And he had begun to be kind of obsessive about it. And so the family had said, hey, why don't you go talk to Lonnie? And when he did, I'd encouraged him to visit my steel climbing tower in the backyard and visit the local chapter of the Speleological Society. And he eventually descended into the pit and rope walked out of it. He even learned all the techniques to earn his vertical 8 patch with the caving club. I had also officiated this man's grandson's wedding. I had performed that little ceremony many, many years ago. And this was the same gentleman that I had talked about in a previous episode back probably in season 1, where he'd brought me a mostly dead snapping turtle and wanted the shell from it. When he wrote his book, I was consulted on one of the chapters, one particular section, and in the opening of the book, I'm credited as a contributor and a friend. The gentleman who is lying in state, he and I have history. But now I'm sitting in a pew behind the podium at the funeral home, and they have closed the curtain in anticipation for the service to begin. The family is gone. They are seated out with the congregation. Everyone is on the other side of the curtain, and it's just me and the honor guard. Because he was a retired major, the city had provided this honor guard, and he would be buried in the fashion and with the honors afforded a law enforcement officer. An honor guard has strict uniformity. They have impeccable grooming and precise disciplined movements. Their presence and their decorum reflect deep respect and a deep respect for tradition. Everything they do is scripted. There are specific guidelines for uniform fit, insignia placement, and conduct. It is my personal belief that this strict rigidity with which they conduct themselves, and not just the honor guard, but all uniformed men, this is a way for military and law enforcement personnel to channel the emotions of death, loss, and grief into a forced, controlled expression of composure, even when facing a time of tragedy. Look at the faces of the men at any service, especially the men of the honor guard. And they are somber but not sad. They are grieving but in control. They are performing a disciplined task with precision and efficiency. And that's the same way these men police. It's the same way they wage war. There is a code. There's an expectation of behavior. You see, no one loses composure or breaks down wearing Class A uniforms or dress blues. The dim interior of the anteroom, the darkened stage, maybe you'd call it the narthex of the funeral home, is now deserted, and it's just me, the two uniformed guardsmen, and a flag-draped coffin. I walked out to the side door and opened the door and looked out into the driveway and told the detail commander, "The family has left. The curtain is closed. Your guys can be relieved." I don't know what I expected to happen. I guess maybe I thought the young men would go from parade rest to at ease and just walk away from the coffin. But what happened? What happened was the other members of the squad marched in, the silent, slow, measured step with robotic precision. They marched to the coffin. They stopped on some silent or at least inaudible cue and pivoted to face the men at parade rest. The entire detail snapped to attention. The men on either ends of the coffin formed up with their squad, and all of them raised a slow, measured salute. And then they held it. I'm not sure if it's heartbeats or seconds. It was so quiet, you could have probably heard their heartbeats. They could have probably heard their own heartbeats. The salute was lowered, an about face was called, and the detail slowly marched out. An honor detail really is about the details of honor. The strict discipline is expressed and exercised regardless of the weather and regardless of crowd size. They would behave this way if there were 1,000 people watching, if there were 10 people watching, and on this occasion, there was no one watching but me. They behave with this code of honor regardless of how many people are watching and even if no one is watching. Honor is the thing you do even if no one is aware of those little details. Honor is the thing you do even if no one sees, notices, or is aware of those little things. In an honor detail, honor is in the details. It's small stuff the average person would not notice or do, and the small details that only other disciplined persons who understand the code would even see. Pins, uniforms, patches, insignias, posture, and polish. A less than perfect honor guard would look impeccable to a civilian, but would look shabby or at least substandard to another member of the guard. Men of honor measure such things, and those little things speak volumes in elite circles. The details of honor and the discipline with which one conducts themselves, intentional movements, standards of behavior, choosing the more difficult stance, attention, parade rest, salutes, when another position would be easier, more comfortable, less demanding, or more sustainable. And the honor is maintained even when no one else is present. The honor is maintained when no one is watching. The honor is maintained regardless of the circumstances. Now, this is not to say that all men are or should be bound by that standard, but those few who have chosen to be part of the honor detail require it of themselves and of the others in the details who live by those details, the details of honor. It's the thought we think knowing no one reads your mind and policing them anyway. It's the words we choose not to use knowing they only violate your personal code. They don't actually offend everyone. It's the words we use even though we are not required to use them. Please, thank you, sir, ma'am. I'm sorry. It's my fault. It's treating the girl you're with the knowledge that she is someone's daughter and you've been trusted with her for an afternoon or an evening if you're a young man. It's treating the girl you were with the knowledge that she is someone's daughter and you've been trusted with her for a lifetime if you're a married man. It's following the rules when no one knows what the property line is, what the bag limits are, and what time legal shooting light ends. It's living like your word, yes or no, is as binding as a signature on a contract. It's keeping promises no one actually expected you to keep. It's not just avoiding what is wrong, but intentionally pursuing what is right, regardless of the consequences, personal cost, or circumstances. It's willing to be embarrassed in order to preserve your honor. Now, that may sound like some type of oxymoron, but no, you tell the truth even when and if the truth is not flattering or the truth is going to be embarrassing to you personally. Embarrassment fades, but honor gets permanently tarnished. It's mercy and justice when either is required. It's being true, fair, honest, humble, forgiving, patient, righteous, or indignant. It's not sitting at a table Jesus would have flipped, and it's not flipping a table Jesus would have sat at. It's being responsible, accountable, and if not flawless, at least fair. And in the cases where you can't be or do all the things, your motives, your intent, at least, was to do that which was good, right, and true. And honor is that even when you're wrong, when you're not right, you're able to admit it. If you read contracts, if you talk to people about contract law, someone will say the fine print. Look at the fine print because the devil is in the details. No, when it comes to honor is in the details. Using the tool of shortwave radio, World Christian Broadcasting literally covers the world every day with the gospel. They use two large curtain antennas. One is located in Anchor Point, Alaska, and the other in Madagascar. They send out messages that are recorded at their international home in Franklin, Tennessee. They make available 40 hours of broadcast every day. The broadcasts are made in English, Chinese, Russian, Spanish, Portuguese, Korean, English for Africa, and Arabic. They would love for your group to visit them. You can bring your ladies group, your youth group, or your men's group. Just give them a call at 615-371-8707, 615-371-8707, or you can go to 3Ws worldchristian.org, find the Donate Here button, and make a financial contribution to support this work that literally covers the world every day with the gospel. World Christian Broadcasting, in cooperation with Keeping Up with Jones, the Lonnie Jones podcast adventure.